Let's understand the selection process and see for which category of student there is an advantage as far as FMS is concerned. Yes, we've been training students for more than 23 years. We do have courses for people looking at workshops, short workshops for Con, DLR and Verbal, as well as individual mentoring. There's also a workshop for ZAS, SNAP. If you're interested, you can contact us. Now, importantly, the forms are out. Normally, FMS forms, the last date is before the CAT, not specifically come out, but yes, it's expected to be 28 November this year. Now, the fees, registration 1,000 rupees for all students apart from SC, ST, PWD, for them it is 350 students. So, comparatively lower as compared to other colleges. So yes, affordable fees. Overall fees also is much lower, 68,000 something for per semester fee, which is much lower as compared to all the other colleges. That's the advantage of FMS. So the weighted score, I mean, the selection criteria is different. I mean, normally what happens, everyone has a criteria in terms of cutoff per section, overall cutoff. Here there is a difference. They give 40% weightage to BRC, 30% weightage to DLR, 30% weightage to Con, and they combine to come up with a composite score. So they give weightage for each particular section. There is a higher weightage for VRC, a little higher as compared to DLR and Con. Okay, and that is where maybe a little diversity comes from non-engineers, which tend to perform better at DRC, but there is no such things. I mean, there are a lot of non-engineers do well in Con and DLR as well. They also 5 marks extra for women candidates. I mean, apart from when they come up with this criteria, they add 5 marks for women candidate, and then they declare it, officially. The list of students are going to call. There is no official cutoff declared purely because they don't go on the standard basis. They have a very different way of trying to calculate scores. So they will take your scores and recalculate the scores and then come out with a new scores, and based on that they will give a cutoff. But yeah, you may require a minimum of 90% for general candidate to get a call. Number of seats in general candidates is around 100, 101. So it means it's not much. There will be around 700, 800 students who will be called for the interview. So that means you need to be among them, and a lot of top people do apply for FMS. Purely one, it's among the top colleges. Second, the fees are much lower. Once you're given a call, the final selection, there will be 50% weightage for CAT. The 10th class is 10%. If you look at for people with 75% and above, they get a full 10% marks. Both in 10th and 12th. So if you have got 75% marks and above, so both in 10th and 12th, you have got full marks. If you got less than 75%, you are in a major disadvantage. Then you have discussion on statement of purpose. Okay, that will be 10% marks. Extempore is 5% marks. Interview is 15% marks. That means if you need to be selected, you ideally should have that 75% plus in both 10th and 12th. Otherwise, the chances of selection goes down quite a bit. Okay, they add again 5 marks for the final selection as well for women candidate for the interview. So the weightage for CAT is 50% based on whatever the weightage average they have come across with. Now, whom is it advantage for? If you look at based on freshers, the 54% freshers and 16% with less than 12. That means around 70% of the students are less than 12 months experience from that 54% freshers. So that means FMS has no bias towards work ex. I mean, a lot of colleges do have an extra marks, a lot of extra marks for work ex. If you look at the selection process for FMS is no extra marks for work ex. I'm not saying they will give some marks here and there during the selection process, but the weightage is much lesser than most of the other top colleges, which means for a fresher it could be easier to get into FMS. Also, for the fact that girls have extra 5% marks, and if you look at the profile, the gender diversity is 48%, which means that quite a bit girls who get into FMS. So again, the girls do have an advantage of getting into the college. And people with lower academics, that means 75% plus obviously. So you are treated on par with anyone. If you have got 78%, you will be treated on par with 90% student. So again, there you have advantage. So these are criteria of people who have an advantage with regards to FMS. So you can apply, you should apply, and assuming that you get a required score into a CAT to get a call. Seats, general unreserved is 101 seats. Then you have other, so OBC 69, EWS 25, SC 37, ST. So the total number of seats actually goes to approximately 310, approximately. Because a lot of other criteria, selections which are there as such. So general candidate seats, 101 seats is what is, right? Hope this helps. We'll come up with more video that will help you with regards to taking decisions, applying to college, etc. Interested, do contact us. Thank you.